Our adventurers are headed to Hong Kong for a sabbatical, whilst Jack Brady gets forces together to take on the villainous Grey Dragon Island and the minions of Ho Fang. How will things progress? Will they be able to get the ritual spell they need to seal and end the threat of Nyarlathotep? Let's find out.
You didn't sleep much that night after meeting Brady. Too much to think about, to worry about. Twice now at least the cult had tried to kill you and you knew better than to wait for a third attempt. Shanghai was no longer a city of opportunity. It felt like a tightening noose. Jack Brady saw it too. You stay here a month, you're dead, he said on the telephone the next day. But I've got friends. Quiet ones. They can get you out. No questions. No trace. You can be in Hong Kong by the day after tomorrow. Lay low, heal up. We're working on the stone as we speak. When the time comes, we hit the island together and finish those crazy bastards once and for all. You spend a month in Hong Kong letting the city hold you in its humid, restless embrace. Days blur into another. Quiet mornings at the peninsula, long walks through markets, thick with incense and steam. Nights watching the harbour lights tremble on black water. You try to rest, to steady your mind, though the shadow of Grey Dragon Island never quite leaves you. The newspapers become your daily ritual. Each morning brings fresh reminders that the world beyond your struggle is fractured too. Reports of the May 30th movement erupting in Shanghai after the shooting of Chinese protesters by foreign police. Headlines about General Feng Zhuang's shifting alliances, shaking the fragile balance of northern China. Dispatches from Britain detailing the coal miners' strike and the widening industrial unrest. And American headlines reporting on the Scopes trial preparations in Tennessee, the nation arguing over evolution and modernity with a fervour that feels to you wholly irrelevant. The world seems to be cracking along many seams, yet you read it all with a strange detachment, contemplating the irrelevance of it all. If only the world knew that it was teetering on the edge of something far, far darker. By the time the month ends, you feel less rested than tempered, sharpened by waiting, steadied by routine, and ready to face whatever waits across the sea. You left for Hong Kong on Friday the 8th of May, and you returned to Shanghai on Wednesday the 10th of June, where you once again make contact with Brady, and after another illicit meeting in Hong Kong Park, you are to meet him at the warehouse of Firm Action, which is the military organisation that he works for, a faction of New China. He gives you the directions and tells you to meet him there at dusk on Wednesday, the 10th of June. In terms of your hotel, I'm assuming are you going back to stay in the one that you were last at?
May as well.
Okay. And the only other question is what would you have done with your large trunk of stuff? Are you leaving it in the bankway, or do you taking it with you?
Leaving it.
Okay. So if you look at the map, you'll see the Putung district across the Wangpu River, and you might be able to see an area marked with number 24, which is actually the warehouse that I was referring to on Chung San Road. So after checking into the hotel and spending a couple of hours resting, you then all head back across the Wangpu to this area of Shanghai you've not been to before. This is a more industrial area, and there are no fancy hotels on this side of the river. It's all warehouses and factories and foundries. You follow the directions that are given to you by Brady, which aren't difficult to find, and the warehouse isn't difficult to find. It sits in Chung San Road in Putung, directly across from the river traffic lanes. Its neighbour is a large industrial foundry, which seems to produce constant mechanical noise, even at this time. You hear metal striking metal, furnaces venting, carts rattling over concrete. The noise obviously effectively masks the activity around the warehouse and discourages anyone from lingering nearby. From the street, the structure of the warehouse appears abandoned. The front windows are fully boarded over. some with newer planks, others weathered. The main doors are chained and coated in dust. No signage is legible, and there is no visible foot traffic. The building presents as unused and unmaintained. You can see a figure standing in an alleyway beside the building. Okay, you can you're close enough to see that the figure has the size and shape resembles that of Jack Brady.
Head towards him then.
Head over.
Okay, you head towards him. He throws down his cigarette underfoot without any words at all. He turns and walks down the alleyway.
Obviously be on guard, but yeah.
You follow him. Okay. You follow Jack Brady down the narrow service alley between the warehouse and the foundry's outer wall. The ground's uneven, littered with grit and metal filings from the factory. At the end of the alley stands the rear entrance, a reinforced wooden door with iron bands and a heavy padlock. You see Brady pulls a key out from his pocket and unlocks it. He turns and smiles to you. Welcome back. Trust you had a restful holiday.
Yes, thank you. It was acceptable.
He smiles, opens the door, and he pulls the door open and basically just gestures for you to holds it open and gestures for you to enter.
At him.
Okay.
Sorry, before we get too far into this mechanics question, I'm assuming we got hit points back and such.
Yeah,
right?
and anybody that was injured will be fully healed now.
Okay. Did we get any opportunity to get some psychological
Sadly not.
care? No, not long enough.
Oh, psychological care you might have, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to?
I did, very much so.
Yeah, me too.
I think we'd all go for it.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's do that before we go any further. Then I must admit, I think you briefly mentioned that at the end of last.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. Bear with me.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense if we're spending a month in Hong Kong to book ourselves in for rehab.
You managed to find a doctor in Hong Kong who's willing to psychoanalyze you and work on you whilst you were there. Okay, who's
Jacob's maddest. I think if Bert has any psychoanalysis, he's going to turn into a singularity of pure sanity.
Yeah, one doesn't like to boast, but I don't need to see a psychiatrist at the moment.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You're psychoanalyzing him.
So, firstly, then, if we go with Jacob, you need to make a roll. The doctor's psychoanalysis skill was 60, which means that you need to roll below 60 to receive any sanity back.
That roll's just mad.
96.
But yeah, you it's as you first thought, you're a complete hopeless case. There's no way that there was no way that a month was anywhere near enough to help you, I'm afraid. What about Lucky?
Oh, nice.
What did you get?
20.
Oh, okay, cool. So you can receive 1d3 sanity return.
Oh.
3.
Oh.
Huzzah.
Okay. And Sir Edward.
Okay. Let's see how we do. 46.
Super. Same again, 1d3.
Oh, that's nearly 5. 4, so 2 points.
2 points, yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Right. You step through the rear door, and the first thing you notice is how the noise from the foundry becomes a dull, steady vibration in the walls, enough to mask conversation, not enough to interfere with it. The warehouse interior is divided by makeshift partitions and reinforced beams, all clearly added long after the building's original construction. Nothing here is decorative. Everything serves a purpose. The ground floor is open and utilitarian. You see stacked crates repurposed as storage, tools, spare clothing, basic medical supplies. A long workbench runs along one wall, its surface crowded with maps of Shanghai, grease-penciled notes, and a few battered field radios. The lighting is dim but functional. Shielded bulbs hung low to avoid casting shadows on the boarded walls. A narrow staircase leads to a lofty platform built from scavenged lumber. The air smells faintly of machine oil and old wood. Along the far wall, which is a section of the warehouse, has been curtained off with a heavy canvas. And it is towards this that Jack Brady gestures for you to walk, following you also.
Follow on.
He pulls the canvas aside. You you see beyond the closest thing firm action has to a planning room. A large table, a few mismatched chairs, a chalkboard covered in coded shorthand. It's not sophisticated, but it's organised nonetheless. You see the small figure of Mr. Moo sitting at the table. In front of him is what looks to be an ancient scroll that he's poring over, and he looks as you come in. He looks troubled. Brady says, "We got some problems. Moo's hit a bit of a full stop on the scroll."
Tell us more.
Good to see you back in Shanghai, gentlemen. I have made good progress with the stone. I've managed to fix it back together. It is ready to go. I was making good progress with the incantation also when I found this. He shows you a blank piece of scroll. The last piece of scroll. It is blank. The last piece of the incantation. It is not here. Without it, you cannot cast the Eye of Light and Darkness.
Is it blank or is it missing?
He shows you the piece of scroll, and it's just literally. You can see above it loads of scrawling in Chinese characters, and then the last kind of 8 or 9 inches is just totally blank. Problem is, says Brady, the ritual's on Sunday. It's going to take you guys at least a full 24 hours to learn it. We've got a bit of a problem.
May I take a look?
You may. He says, "Be careful. It is very, very, very fragile."
Of course. I'll take a seat and carefully take the scroll and inspect it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to work out if writing was there previously and has been erased, or if it is still there, but we cannot see it.
Make a percentile roll for me. See what you get.
33.
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to tell, really. You study it, and you can't see any smudges or anything like that would suggest that there was previously any writing there that's been erased in any way. The actual parchment, although very old and fragile, doesn't look like it's been marked in any way at that point.
May I have a look, Sir Edward?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to ask for your help.
Maybe there's some incantation that you need in order to make the last part of the incantation visible. There's obviously going to be something there, otherwise it wouldn't have. You wouldn't just leave blank parchment, would you?
My thoughts. Yeah, Jacob, make a roll.
I'm going to use a magnifying glass as well.
Okay.
Oh, I'm on fire tonight. Where's the paper?
The magnifying glass sets fire to...
I was going to say that. It's good job the windows are boarded up. Otherwise, I would definitely put a big hole in it.
Oh my god!
So 100 is not good then.
No, I don't think I've ever seen anyone fumble reading before. That's excellent.
Pokes himself in the eye with his magnifying glass.
No, I don't. I can't actually think of a fumble consequence of that. So I'm just going to say that you just get a really bad headache by looking at by using a magnifying glass on those weird kind of Chinese symbols that start swimming around in your head. You're like, wow, there's something weird about that. You step away and you don't really want to look at it again.
May I take a look? I'm not interested in trying to read it. I'm just trying to see whether it's anything magical about it.
Okay, make a roll.
Nah, I ain't got the foggiest. 33.
That puts us in a bit of a predicament. If we don't have the spell, then we can still go ahead with our plan, but we can't create the Eye of Light and Darkness on the island afterwards.
So I'm not really au fait with this thing. So what are you fellas looking at here? What is this? What are you trying to understand? Can I give it a butcher's?
Yeah, you might as well.
You kind of see the look of doubt momentarily plain on the face of Mr. Moo, but which he manages to cover up politely.
Bert has managed to be a savant in other areas such as this in the past, so he might surprise us.
Okay,
we can often see things that we take for granted.
Yeah. Right.
What am I looking at then? No idea. I don't even know what skill I'm checking against, but with that roll, it's definitely going to be a fail.
Yeah, well,
unless I'm shooting it.
Maybe not. Maybe don't do that.
It just looks like a blank piece of paper to you. So yeah.
Is it multiple pages, or is it just one scroll
No,
and then there's a gap at the end?
It's one long scroll
with a gap at the end.
With a gap at the end that just looks. Yeah, it just seems really odd that there's a gap at the end. You don't necessarily leave it.
That makes me think that there's something. Have you tried? Maybe the act of casting it, the last piece becomes visible as you cast it.
The last piece of the scroll is the part that actually details the chant that we need. The most important part. It's referenced a number of times in the earlier writings, but when I came to the last section, I realised that it was not there.
Maybe the postcard.
From what you've read, does it have to be cast in a particular place or at a particular time?
Yes, it must be cast at the location of it must be in a high place near where we are trying to ward.
But you can't even begin to cast it without the incantation.
No, if I explain how it works, the incantation must be cast after sundown. The blood of an innocent must be used to fill the pupil of the eye once per hour until dawn breaks. And the incantation must be repeated 7 times after each time the blood is given. And all those involved in the ritual must surrender some of their ki, or chi, your own body force, until such time as the ritual is completed. When the moon next rises, the symbol will then briefly glow to show that the incantation has been completed, and the stone itself will meld into the rock to protect the island. But without the incantation, we cannot do it.
And does the blood have to be fresh? Could we take the blood with us, the blood of an innocent with us, rather than taking an innocent with us?
It has to be from. It is fresh, yes, but it does not need to be much. It can be a very small amount each time. So, from whoever is conducting the ceremony.
How innocent is innocent? Because I don't believe any of us here are innocent.
Someone. It says in the scroll here, someone who is good at heart.
Different from innocent, Lucky.
No more specific than that.
We could pass for good of heart. Although innocent, we ain't.
That is true.
Fair point, Bert. I'm going to start fishing inside my jacket. Did we bring bags with us of any kind, like little rucksacks or anything, or we're just standing in the clothes that we're in?
Yeah, I don't think you'd have brought anything with you unless you specifically thought you needed it.
So I will fish around inside the pockets of my jacket to see if my postcard from RAF Wells is on me, or if I'd left it back in.
No, I think you'd keep that on you. It's something you're quite fond of.
Originally, I was using it as a bookmark, but obviously, once I woke and symbols appeared on it, so anyway, I'll take the postcard out of my pocket and show it to Mr. Wu. Would this help?
He looks at it. He frowns. What is this?
It's some information that came to me in my sleep when I was studying a particular book related to Egypt, the Book of Dizian. I may have mentioned it before. So the information in the book has obviously found its way into my mind in a way other than me just reading it directly.
He looks at it. It is very interesting. You must have somehow had some sort of premonition. Did you know about the spell? Did you know it was called this when you
at the time
when you first started?
No, I had absolutely no idea at all. When I joined my fellows in Egypt, we were only there very briefly before they had to leave swiftly. And I point at the aircraft and tap it, and that's the method we took. This postcard, I used it as a bookmark in this book I have been studying. And I woke one night. Well, I'm not sure I woke. I think I was doing this in my sleep. And you can attest, Jacob. And I'll tap it again and said, and this appeared. I must have written it.
That is most interesting. It's some sort of portent. Look, it is even telling you that you must use the Eye of Light and Darkness, and you have toward the 3 points of the triangle. He points to the triangle on the right-hand side of the postcard. There, Grey Dragon Island, Australia, Kenya. 3 points of the triangle. That fascinating, but of no use.
Too much to ask for, but it shows that we're on the correct path.
Would the magic from the stone in some way reveal the text? Have you brought the two together?
I have tried, to no avail. I have tried everything. I am at my wit's end.
Have you tried looking at it under moonlight?
I have tried looking at it outside, under moonlight, yes. In starlight. I've tried ultraviolet light. I'm just at my wit's end.
Over a candle. Please tell me it's not written in lemon.
If it's going to be looked at over a candle, I would suggest that Jacob doesn't.
Doesn't do that.
Perhaps some of our artifacts may help. I'll look at the others, the paired scepters. May they trigger revealing the incantation?
It just seems, to me, it just seems so nonsensical. That's why the final piece of the incantation would be missing. Why would you have the extra scroll here? He points to the blank bit. Like, if the scroll finish here. Now it'll finish there. It seems to it's finished here, but then
the incantation will reveal itself. We just need to know how and when and why.
You mentioned invisible. If it's invisible, yeah, but we don't. How can we see? We don't know.
We have a series of masks we could wear to look at it.
That's what I was thinking. The one you had, Jacob, maybe?
Well, if we're going to try that, we need to get to the bank and get on with it.
Get our items. Is there anything else that we have that we might be able to view things through?
If there is something here, it is invisible. I have heard of enchantments that can reveal the invisible, but I do not know, and I do not have enough time to research.
Haven't we come across something that revealed things that can't be seen? Why does that ring a bell?
Yeah, it does ring a bell, yes.
What about that stone jar of ashes? That was something that you could use to reveal hidden creatures, we thought at the time. Maybe hidden writing. You know, the grey-black dust.
Is that what I was thinking of? I'm sure we've come across something.
Yes, that was from the Penny Foundation, wasn't it? A small stone jar containing a quantity of grey-black dust, much like ashes. Well, we could try scattering it on here and then pouring it back into the jar if it doesn't work. It's the best thing we got at the moment. Let's go and get the chest, and then we can try.
We have the mask, also, Jacob, that you found in Peru.
Yes, although that didn't. You can't see through that. It really allowed you to see some other place.
Yes, that shows different places and different times.
Have we? We also have that
in front of you.
We also have that mask with the 4 different visages.
Yeah. That was my last resort. We can use that to contact one of the outer gods. We have to be
ask advice. These are artifacts that don't strike me as being related to. They're more related to the cultists than people who would want to seal away the object of the cultists' desires.
You must be careful using items that you have taken from these people. That's where madness lies.
I'd be concerned about drawing attention as well.
Can I ask a historical question, Keeper of Arcane Law?
You can.
I just want to circle back to Lucky's idea about heating it and lemon juice. And I'm just a little bit terrified that it might be super mundane and not all that magical. Is that a common thing that we might know about in the 20s? Or is actually we're just thinking about a film that we watched once?
That's a good question.
I've seen it in like 1930s movies.
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering, whether it was actually something that World War I spies used and it's not actually that mad. Because
Yeah, but it's apparently heating lemon juice often uses invisible ink reveals hidden messages by oxidizing carbon-based organic compounds, causing them to turn brown. I'm going to see whether that was known.
Well, of course, it's in National Treasure, but he's hunting things from the revolutionary period, so a long time ago. So anyway,
lemon juice is a secret invisible ink is a technique that dates back over.
That's the 16th century. So yes, you can.
I think we should try it. I think we should try it. Honestly,
why not? It's actually used by Germany. It was used in the First World War as well.
Okay, we'll get some lemon juice, heat it from below.
Well, we don't use the lemon juice. We just heat the.
Oh, you just heat.
Parchment. You heat the part. You heat
the writing's in lemon juice.
The writer uses the lemon juice. Okay, let's gently heat the parchment, and then
Mr. Moo goes, I hit the parchment.
We'll get that mundane one out of the way, and then we'll go fantastical. But what if it works?
No, were lemons prolific in ancient Egypt? I don't know. Let's try it.
I'm not going to Google that.
I mean, citrus fruits. It must have been.
Yeah.
We're in the right part of the world, aren't we?
Right. Let's just try it. Just warm it.
What you can use to warm it with?
A match. You can hold it from a distance, and it won't burn it.
Okay. You think you're going to try and heat it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Better not fumble this roll. I'll do it if you like.
Yeah, go on.
So the only thing I can think of is those that grey dust.
Yeah, but was that because we investigated that, or was it because?
Okay, Mr. Moo says that he's going to do the heating.
Fair enough.
And then when it goes wrong and the whole thing gets burnt, we won't have to bother going and getting the masks.
It is the small stone jar containing black and grey dust. It renders magically invisible entities visible.
Oh well, there you go then. That's our best bet.
Mr. Moo just raises his head as he's about to strike the match, and kind of cocks his head to one side. You have something?
It's the small stone jar with the black grey dust in it.
Let's try that before we inadvertently set fire to an ancient text.
The notes say, much like Ash's power of Iban Azagi.
Mr. Moo kind of he looks up at the ceiling and he says, "You have powder of Ibn Ghazi? We spent half an hour talking about this. You say I set fire to it, then you tell me we have powder of Ibn Ghazi." He just throws something on his pen onto the ground. Go fetch it now!
We better go and get it. Put that candle out.
I'm more scared of him than I am of a cultist. Let's just go and get the dust only, nothing else.
Okay. You're going to go, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, you go out into the rainy streets of Shanghai.
It's night. Is the bank going to be open?
It's actually no, because it was an evening meeting. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow.
Oh, we can do planning. Planning.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, you realise that the bank's not going to be open until tomorrow. So okay. Mr. Moo's demeanour is improved by the news. Sorry, I lost, but you have brought back half of the Eye of Light and Darkness, and now you may have the solution to my problem. So thank you. He bows with his hands together.
Oh, we have many things, many of which we have absolutely no idea as to their meaning or value. So our apologies.
I will rest now, for I have worked hard and long. And if your solution works, then we will have much more studying to do over the next day or so.
Yes.
Please,
Sorry.
He excuses himself and leaves. Right, let's get down to discussing what we're going to do about the island, says Brady. Brady gestures for you to kind of come around the table in this kind of planning area, as it were. Okay, and you see that he has a map of Grey Dragon Island, which you hopefully now can see on the Roll20. The plan that I have so far is as follows. We need to leave here at maybe 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. We've got a converted heavy oil fired fishing vessel that we've modified, and we can maybe get to the island in, say, 10 hours. My plan so far is we get out there ahead of the ahead of the ritual, which will begin. They'll be, the cultists will be making their way to the island. Get there for dusk. So if we hang around outside of the reef, far enough away on the other side of the island, so they don't see us, they won't be looking out for us anyway. And then head in 3 groups. I'll take 1. I'll take 5 men in a group of 6. Tumin's going to take another, and I figure that you guys could be the 3rd. I don't know whether you want another 2 members of the firm action to accompany you, or whether you'd rather go alone.
I think we would rather go, Jacob.
Well, I'm assuming these will be military men, would they?
Oh, of course, yes.
In which case, I think definitely.
Yeah, we could certainly use the
extra firepower.
He points to the. He says, so what we know about the island is that there's a small village which has maybe 30 or 40 villagers. They're all likely to be cultists. The dock is just a rickety old wooden affair where probably that's where the cultist ships will be. More likely Ho Fang's yacht and the Dark Mistress. I can't imagine they'll take any other ships out there. It's a feral trawl out to the island. There are three ways to get into the volcano, which is where we think the whole ritual and whatever it is they're storing in there is. The first way is via the main path from the village, which is the easiest path from the beach through the jungle up to the side of the caldera here. The second way is on the northern side of the island, which is a shorter but a much steeper path, which would take some ascending for the less physically capable of us. And the third way is here, sea caves. We've seen activity going in and out of the caves. So my suggestion is that once we are in the rowboats, hopefully at that point the cultists would already be in and preparing for whatever it is they do. Mr. Moose says that they will prior to dusk they will all gather within the old volcano and prepare for the rites. That's our opportunity to get onto the island. I'm not saying there won't be any guards, but the guards will more likely be minimal. And I thought maybe we hit them in 3 different areas. So big group of 18 of us is probably conspicuous, whereas with 3 groups of 6 we could stand much more chance of actually at least one of us getting to where they are unseen or unmolested. So from what I see, from where I'm looking, the sea caves feels like that needs to be some of my boys. It's probably going to be the hardest and the most treacherous. We know that there are things that live around this island that the cultists are in league with.
The deep ones, not just the hybrids, but the deep ones themselves.
Well, I would suggest we take the steep path, but it depends on you, Sir Edward.
Well, I have my stick with me to balance. If we take it slowly, it should be okay.
That's not encouraging.
The steep path, just to be clear, it will involve climbing at points.
Scrambling.
No, actual climbing.
Climbing. Rock climbing.
I think that's probably a bad idea. In which case, we'll be taking the path through the village then, which does all.
Well, I didn't like to say, Sir Edward, but I wanted to give you the choice.
Is your expectation that the village will be emptied and everyone will be up in the caldera, Jack?
Yeah. I mean, if it's not empty, it's only going to be minimal presence in the village. There'll be the dock will be empty. I mean, all the villages are cultists, so we're working on the premise that there's only going to be. This is what Moo says. This is the best time to hit them is when they're enacting their rites, because everybody will be involved. And whatever guards there are, and there might be some, there will just be a skeleton.
We'll have to try and take them out quietly, though. We can't really have gunfire.
Exactly that. And he says it's funny you should mention that, and he opens a trunk that next to where he's sitting. Actually, he stands up from the trunk he's sitting on, opens it. He pulls out 4 revolvers and hands them all to you. 32 Webleys with Maxim silencers.
Nice. Not going to lie, I was hoping for a crossbow.
These are your stealth options, he says, handing you the revolvers with the silencers on them. And then these are your things have gone a bit bad and we need to get out quickly options. And he opens another trunk and he pulls out a handful of submachine guns, very similar to the Thompson that Luck has already got, and some grenades. We've got enough for you to have 3 of these each, the grenades, and the Thompson submachine gun each. But they're for their last resort. We need this whole plan involves us getting into the Caldera without alerting them that we're on the way. Because if any of the big guys if learn that we're on the way, then we're going to be toast. I don't know what manner of things that they can summon or create in there, but it's not going to be good. I don't think a Thompson or any of these grenades are going to help us too much if they call upon what we know they can.
No.
I'll spit Jack. Look at the submachine gun. Can you get me a rifle, scoped?
Yeah, if you prefer that.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a Thompson already. Scoped rifle would be ideal.
Absolutely. We'll see what we can do for you.
The magazines for those Thompsons, are they the 30 round or the drums?
No, the 30 round ones.
How many magazines we got each?
2.
What ones I've got already? And it's a Webley 32, yeah.
Yeah, Webley 32 with a Maxim silencer.
I must say the village approach does appeal to me.
I'm thinking 2 units in the dock and 1 to the caves.
Yeah, I did have that thought myself, but the third path was tempting because I didn't think they'd expect us to. I don't expect that there's likely to be no guards there at all.
Then actually maybe the steep path and the main path and avoid the caves, because if they're going to run into, what did you call them? Deep ones?
Deep ones.
That's all I'm thinking is I want someone watching our back, someone to hold the dock, hold the boats, and if possible, scupper their boats. Guttle, I think is what the Navy boys call it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the dock, and I'll look over to Lucky. Anything you can prepare to...
well, I was thinking of...
Yeah, hold on a second on that though. We're not talking about boats. We're talking about. I mean, you've seen the Dark Mistress, the yacht that Ho Fang's got. They're both pretty big. It's going to need some serious, noisy stuff to inflict enough damage on those.
I think that would be on the way. Anything we do on the way out, we need to get in quietly. We need to seal using the incantation. We will run into trouble, but we also need a way to protect ourselves on the way back out. So I'm thinking is setting up tripwires, booby traps on the paths. If we're aware of them, we can bypass them. If they're chasing us down the mountain, I don't care if they blow themselves up on the way down, because by then our cover's blown anyway. I'm not saying we destroy the ships on the way in. Maybe on the way out if we have time.
Not on the way in, of course not.
It's the consideration we have, you see, gents, is that this eye thing, Mr. Moo has translated this passage, and he picks up a piece of paper which has got some scribbling on it. It says, "The wondrous eye must not first burn where evil beings or creatures lurk."
So they can't.
So we have to get rid of them. We've got to get rid of these bastards before we can even invoke this spell.
Oh, you mean so you think it's a cult? We have to kill all the cultists?
I don't know. We need to kill all of them,
but clear the area.
But clearly, the big guys would need to be removed.
Right.
And how long does it take for the incantation to be cast? We might need to hold the position.
Well, it's going to. Well, as Mr. Moose said, it's like it basically has to be started at sundown, and it doesn't finish until the next morning. So it's hours.
So hopefully, we need to get in there and not be spotted for as long as possible. Cast a spell and hold that position whilst hidden.
But this is the place that they're going to be
Yeah, that's
performing their own ritual. So there's going to be a fight, isn't there, for that?
The problem
territory.
is this thing about the wondrous eye must not first burn where evil beings or creatures lurk. So we can't do anything whilst they're still there. If they still,
Right. Okay.
So we need to clear the place. We need to get in there. We need to get out. We need to get rid of the head guys. The rest of the cult will scatter if we do that, and then we can then secure the island with this thing.
Could we maybe try and draw them out? I don't like the idea of fighting in the volcano. Could we draw them out of the volcano? Could we set up some kind of trap on the path?
Well, I'm open to it. I'm open to any ideas.
What do you think, Bert? If we sneak up, lay some tripwires, things kick off, we draw them out onto the pathway. Some of them get blown up on the way down, and then we pick them off at long range with rifles. Then eventually it'll get close, but we should be able to take out a lot of them before they get to it.
The thing is, we need to try and take out the head first, don't we? They're going to be the most dangerous ones who can probably,
they'll stay inside. They'll stay inside casting. That's right. That is right.
Send their minions out.
The guys that we need, the ones that we need, is Penhu, Ho Fang, and if we can take those out, I don't know, it's an if. The rest of the we cut the head off the snake. The rest of it, they're just
right.
We have to leverage our two big advantages: surprise and the opportunity to pincer. Got to somehow catch them between ourselves, between our squads.
Which is why I know you talk about the caves. The thing about the main path and the steep path is that they both end up at the same entrance, whereas the caves actually would. We think, afford entrance to the caldera in a different way, which I know was obviously a lot more perilous, but does exactly what Bert just said.
We do need to get into the volcano without being spotted, because the first thing they will do is cast and summon something, because they're not going to. If I was Penhu, I wouldn't come out and get caught up in a gunfight. I would be standing in there summoning something that I could send out to wipe us out from the sky.
Are Penhu and Ho Fang likely to come from the dock to the caldera?
Penhu is already there because he lives on the island. But the rest of the cultists and Ho Fang, they'll all arrive at the dock because it's the only place that ships of their size are able to moor around that island.
Might be an opportunity to pick Ho Fang off with rifles. Their guard will be down at that point as they're moving from the dock to the volcano. But it means.
But then we've warned Penhu.
I mean, these are all options. And my original concept, and I'm happy to be corrected. My original idea was that we'd wait until they're all on the island and in the ritual before we then made our way from the fishing vessel.
I think we need to wait until they're all in one place in the ritual, and then we shoot the head guys from range, and then hopefully we've cut the head off the snake, and then we worry about everybody else afterwards. But that's the only time we can guarantee that both of them will be in the same place at the same time and distracted.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah, we do need to hit them with everything that we have at the same time.
But it requires as many people as possible to get into place without being spotted.
Yeah.
Well, which makes me think maybe we get in first and sneak up, and then all your colleagues attack later once things start getting noisy, because if everybody goes in from 3 different directions, that's more chance of being spotted. If we sneak in,
you're talking. So we've got that we're going to be moored in the fishing vessel. We're going to be moored like a mile or so away from the island. We need to be at least that distance, so that to make sure we're not spotted. Then you're talking about one group, one boat going in first.
Yes, quietly.
Okay. Yeah, but what happens if you get into trouble?
Well, then it's a mess anyway.
Yeah, but I just worry that it leaves you exposed, because I mean, how far behind you are we coming to back up?
Well, I would say that you stay. You can come in at the same time, but stay back.
Okay.
So you stay at the bottom of the steep path, or stay near the entrance to the
so we
cave.
land and then just kind of hole up on the beaches somewhere, find somewhere
Yeah.
to hide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is, we don't know.
What's that?
We don't know how long it's going to take, particularly the steep path. Do we?
Well, it's a mile. It's a mile, probably a mile and a half.
And just
So 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
That's kind of it's going to take us less than an hour.
I'm just thinking, if it all goes wrong, we might have to wait 30 minutes to be relieved.
Yes, that is true.
That is a concern. That I can see the positives from your plan, but the negatives are you effectively don't have any backup because we're too far away for it to be able to do anything.
We have such a small force. I think we want everyone there,
right,
from the outset.
I don't know why we're planning, to be honest, because it's all going to go pear-shaped the minute we land.
Yes.
So,
well, as soon as one group's discovered, the other two groups are going to have to break cover and help, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we all speak up until we hit.
Yeah, but they will have the element of surprise at least.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
again, that depends on how we look at things. Because if one group's discovered, does that mean that the others just carry on because it gives them a better chance of getting in?
Yeah, that's true. That is true, because you might draw people off. Say the steep path up is identified. Anybody that is guarding will be drawn towards the area, which makes the likelihood of us being able to get through greater.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, look, guys, if it's us, if one of my groups gets discovered, I don't expect you to come running to our salvation. I think if one of us gets identified and they exactly what you just said, I'd expect you to take advantage of that, and the best way of doing that is to.
All right then. So let's say our plan is no more complicated than 3 groups, each land in the respective areas, sneak. Anybody gets spotted, nobody else runs to save them, and they continue to sneak. Find a location in the volcano, seek to kill the leaders as soon as they're identified, and then beyond that, there is no plan beyond that point other than we need to be able to kill as many people as possible to create a safe environment for us to be able to cast the incantation, and that's it.
I think, again, from what Mr. Moo has been saying, and I think from my understanding as well, is like if we take out Ho Fang and Penhu, then the rest will just run. We probably won't. I mean, obviously, we can just then retreat and let them
scatter.
Yeah, because they're not going to have any gut for the fight once their head honchos have been taken out.
Yeah, fine. Okay, I don't think we need to plan any more than that.
Obviously, we don't know what we're going to find in there, but we can only plan. We can only plan on what we know from the outside. We haven't been able to get any closer to the island than this for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think we can assume that something is going to be summoned. However, so we need to be prepared for that. So if anybody has anything that would protect themselves, I suggest that they prepare for it before we land.
We've got 10 hours on an open sea.
Lovely.
But first of all, that happens. We've got to hope that your weird powder, whatever it is that you're talking about, actually does the job. And then you guys have got some learning to do. I don't think that I can. I've asked. Mr. Moo seems fairly reticent to accompany us.
No, we will. I think we all need to learn it. So if any one of us is killed, somebody else can take over.
From what I understand, the more of us that are able to do it, the more chance we have of succeeding, and also the less draining it will be from our own. Do they call it chi or ki? I can never.
I'll look at Jacob and Bert. So similar to the way in which you saved me back at Warren Hall.
And what about the blood?
Any of us?
All of us?
We are good at heart.
Are we?
Well, we're willing to sacrifice our lives in order to save the world. I'd say that's fairly good.
The problem, well, not the problem. It's not a problem at all. But again, Mr. Moo mentioned to me that if I don't know how these things work, I don't know what good is and what evil is. But if one of us is not good, then they could taint the whole process and end up meaning that the thing doesn't work. But I'm with you. I mean, why the hell would we be doing this? I think wanting to save the world feels fairly good to me.
Well, obviously, I'm happy to give my blood. And if you want my blood alone, then so be it.
Well, yes. Well, we
It's
only
a
need
plan I
one.
can get on board with.
I don't think. Is there anything else that we need to discuss?
No, I don't think so.
There is the consideration of fighting fire with fire. This is
Well, let's not worry
battle.
about it. Yes. Well, let's not think about that until it becomes necessary. If you're planning on doing what I think you're doing, Sir Edward, how long would it take?
More time than we have in the battle. It takes time to prepare.
Okay.
To summon
Give me an
these
indication of time frame.
It's secret.
Half an hour.
No, half an hour.
Looking
Right.
at half an hour. It's something that can't really be done reactively.
Half an hour to an hour. The longer I spend, the more successful it is.
And for how long do you have control, if you indeed do have control?
It's unlimited. It depends on the orders and the instructions that you give.
And can you give it an instruction to seek out Penhew, for example, or Ho Fang?
Possibly. I should think so.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that you can do that.
I can direct it to attack a specific individual. But we may also find it useful to protect ourselves. But the wording has to be precise. So
Can you only give it one? You only give it one task.
What are you talking about? Because I don't understand. You're talking in gibberish. What's it?
They can summon creatures, as you know. So can I. I've learned their secrets.
Hold on a minute. This is a whole new ball game.
I don't know why I'm even entertaining this, Sir Edward. I've always been dead against it, but
and I do respect your reasons.
But I find myself thinking perhaps it could help.
These are desperate times.
Well, you can control these things.
Well, there's the risk. In theory.
Are we going to find the time for you to do that? Because we don't know what's in the volcano. You can't cast it before we get into the volcano because you don't know what you'll be instructing it to do. And once we're in the volcano, you won't have time to.
Which is why we have to prepare it beforehand. The ritual and the instructions.
But how can you prepare the instructions beforehand if you don't know what we're going to be encountering when we're inside?
Exactly. We use it to protect us or to attack a specific target. And if we name the individual, the bond that I would form with the creature, they would know who that individual is.
Right. So as soon as we land on the dock, or could you...
Before then, I think.
Right, so you want to do it on the ship?
Yeah, I'd really want to take an hour to form this.
Right, so
if you it maybe the day before, that is possible.
What, so the thing hangs around for a day?
Yes, not next to me, not behind me, but around, hidden within the city, or outside of the city, and then follows us to the island.
This is a whole lot of crazy.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there, Brady, at all. But they have powerful weapons in their armory, and we should use ours. These guns, the grenades, obviously, they have their uses. But these creatures of theirs are difficult to defeat.
The stuff I saw in the desert, but these things, I mean, there's no way that you can guarantee you can control them. And also, I mean, they send people around. Look at the way that Roger, I mean, his mind was completely destroyed by what he saw. Surely you can't risk that.
If you instruct it to kill Penhew, then it won't be of any use protecting us, or it won't be any use killing or defeating a creature that they summon, correct?
Yes, exactly. It has to be a specific directive.
Then I wouldn't use it to kill Penhew, because we know that humans are vulnerable to gunfire and grenades.
As long as they're not magically protected.
I know how to do that, and eventually you can wear them down.
Yes. I agree. I've seen it myself.
Could you send it after Ho Fang before the island?
Could do, but then he may have the chance to defend himself.
Shows It shows our hand. It shows our hand too much.
Exactly. This is something that we want to bring as a surprise to tip the balance of the battle in our favour. So, I mean, we as I said, the orders have to be specific. For example, I couldn't say to give it an instruction, protect me from harm forever. But I could say, slay that man in the corner.
Tell us how you want to use it, Sir Edward.
To use it against the most destructive and the strongest weapons they have, which are Hofang, Penhew, and any creatures that they summon.
Right. We can't do all three.
My thought is creatures that they summon.
But you can't do that until we see the creatures that they summon. Or can you say, destroy any summoned creature that you see? Is that specific enough?
That attacks us, and then name each member of our group. The more specific, the better.
Okay, so should any summoned creature attack us four, then you must defend us. That would be specific enough, and then it would just act as top cover for us.
It needs to be specific and time bound. Those are the two things that you know.
Okay. If we are attacked by a summoned creature, then defend us until either that creature is, or until that creature is incapacitated. That's time bound, isn't it?
Mm.
We also can't make the command lengthy. So, from what I would suggest, certainly no more than a dozen. Ideally, no more than 10 words.
Right. Are there any other caveats that you're going to tell us?
How about this? Right, but bear with me a moment here, Sir Edward. We have to sneak in without being spotted and do the ritual. And the ritual is going to take a really long time. So why don't you cast your summon beastie malarkey while someone else is doing that ritual, and have him protect us during the ritual?
I thought we need to, in effect, sanitize the area of...
Before we do the ritual.
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Bear with me. Mark 2. How about we just knock the whole thing on the head and don't dabble in the evil forces of darkness that could destroy our minds? How about we do that?
Or the minds of any of our allies.
I'm with you. I think I'm with you.
Right. No evil forces of darkness when we're trying to prove that we are goodly.
Good guys. I would be very concerned that the mere sight of what you're proposing will drive me insane, Sir Edward.
Or any of our allies.
No offense, Jacob. You know I love you, but actual fact, if he flips out, we've lost a very powerful helper. And you're right. What about our soldier friends? They won't have seen anything like that before. It's a real risk. I ain't saving all of you.
You have a whole night. If we do need it, you have a whole night to cast it. If we are in that situation, we are holed up and there is no other way out, then yes, I think, but it should be our weapon of last resort. But we are going to have an entire night of trying to protect our position whilst we cast the ritual.
That's a fair point, actually. I think that's because even if we do manage to cut the head off the snake, the remaining cultists are still on that island. So whether some of them live there, and we all know how fanatical they are. They're all insane. So there's a possibility that there might be some sort of continuing guerrilla war against us whilst we try and do this. So yeah. But I'm just so nervous about, like, none of my guys, as you said, would have seen anything like this.
Yes.
It's a lot. I've only ever seen it once, and I don't ever want to see anything again like that. And I know that we might not have any choice, but it feels like it's definitely a last resort thing.
I do think that we should prepare them as much as possible in the fact that one of these creatures may appear, because it wouldn't necessarily be me summoning them. Penhew and Ho Fang could be doing it, so they may well see one of these creatures anyway, but fighting on their side, not ours.
I've told them that they know vaguely what to expect. They know there are things there that I can't give them. I can't. At a risk of not having anybody to go with us.
Yes, if you describe in detail exactly what they're like, they may have second thoughts.
Also, knowing about one doesn't inure you against
Actually, seeing it,
seeing it,
Yes.
or seeing other similar creatures. And the fact that it's fighting on our side, I don't think will make any difference whatsoever.
Forewarned is forearmed is one thing, but in this situation, I think it is a step too far.
Can we just agree to use it as a backup? We're not saying never, but I don't think it's
absolute last resort.
Yeah.
I think if we're stranded there, if we're stuck, if there's no other solution. But other than that,
no ripping the fabric of reality unless we really need to.
That's sorted then.
That's fine with me.
Okay, gents, is there anything else you need to know?
There could be a chance, given my limited ability with weapons, that I may need to use some of these spells for protection or to take the fight to the enemy.
Cast whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Edward, it is one of those occasions. What I'm just saying is summoning is a step too far unless it's a last resort. Obviously, the what you have proven previously when we were attacked in the hotel is that you're more than capable of using powers that could save all of our lives. So we're not going to say don't do that. Just saying be wary of how it is deployed.
Trust me, I am. I've fought in many battles with the Brotherhood. Unfortunately, I've lived to this day, and I intend to live much longer after it.
Let's drink to that, says Brady, and he pulls out a bottle of whiskey and some glasses and fills up the...
well said,
chucks
Brady.
them all across
Well said.
Right. He slams his whiskey back, says, if that's enough for tonight, I suggest we all retire.
Yes.
If you go to retrieve that, whatever it is you need to, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Just be careful getting here that you're not followed.
Of course.
I don't need to say that to you. Okay, he leads you out, locks up behind him, and you're going to head straight back to your hotel, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you wish to do anything before you hit the hay this evening?
No.
No.
I wish to wake up freshly refreshed and go get that powder.
Okay, you all sleep. Obviously, apart from Lucky, who just sits in a chair, occasionally nodding off. Next morning is Thursday, the 11th of June. The night passes uneventfully. I'm afraid, Sir Edward, that you don't. All nights, you spend a little bit of time flicking through the book, but you've already probably exhausted that by all the time that you spent in Hong Kong. I guess you'd been looking in it then as well, or maybe not because you were. But anyway, unfortunately, there's nothing really more to deduce from this tome in relation to the Eye of Light and Darkness. Anything that we're going to do, obviously, in the morning before you do, or you're just going to breakfast and then head straight off?
Just head off.
Yeah.
Okay. You have breakfast in the opulence of the Palace Hotel, looking at all of the Shanghai society, passing completely unaware of the dangers that lurk beyond the veil. As you can, you have breakfast quickly, and then you head out to the bank.
Is there anything else we need to retrieve from the bank?
I don't think so. Most of the things there are reference materials, aren't they, rather than anything that we'd need for.
I think the protective stuff we've already got, haven't we?
Yes.
Can I just ask, Lucky, can you just roll a percentile dice for me, please?
13.
Okay, thank you. Carry on. Sorry to interrupt.
I don't think there's anything else. We're carrying anything that's protective or offensive in nature. Everything else is rather reference or heavy duty. So just the powder then.
Okay, you head out into the streets of Shanghai. Are all four of you going to the bank?
It's probably safest. Although we didn't like going round in a foursome, we probably should. But then when we get to the bank, we'll circle round to see Jack and crack right on.
Yeah. You head back into the streets. It's drizzly today, but very warm. Humidity is very noticeable as soon as you come out of the hotel into the crowded streets. Once again, you feel the kind of horrible paranoia return. When you went to stay at Hong Kong, you kind of, after your first few days, you felt like more relaxed. But now you're back in Shanghai, you're like looking around. Is anybody, looking out for any signs of being followed, constantly on edge? Okay. Can I get somebody? Yeah, I'll just find it. Yeah, does somebody in the group want to roll a centaur dice for me, please?
Ooh, I want to.
Go on then.
I don't want to anymore.
What did you get?
81. 81.
Okay. 81, cool. Right, okay. Yeah, you make your way through the streets. I presume you're getting a taxi to the bank.
Yes,
you
please.
Arrive at the bank. Are you just taking? So what items are you taking out?
Grey
For me,
powder.
I'm only interested in the back, on the dust.
Just
Yeah,
the dust. Okay.
I think we've got all the protective items, haven't we, already? Because we definitely need to take those with us.
Okay, you're relieved. There's one part of it's relieved when you go into the bank and all is in order and the chest is still there, and you are able to remove the small jar of powder that you referenced, and then you're going to head across to the warehouse. Yeah, good. Okay, back inside the warehouse of Firm Action. This time, as you go in there is about at least a dozen men and women in the warehouse working. Some of them wear kind of almost like military uniforms. Others are obviously in civilian wear, but obviously outdoor clothes. There's quite a mixture of sizes and shapes, but the one thing that everybody here has in common is they all seem to be busy. They're all quietly getting on with whatever jobs it is that they're doing. You're taken back through to the back room where Brady and Mr. Wu are waiting for you. Mr. Wu sitting at the same desk he was at last night, cradling the scroll in his arms. He looks up at you with expectation. Morning, says Brady.
Good morning.
I trust you slept well, gents?
As well as we ever do.
So, no.
Can't help looking over our shoulders around here.
I got a few things to be getting on with this morning, so I'll leave you in the capable hands of our resident professor here, if you don't mind.
Jolly good.
Mr. Moo says, Mr. Brady, you must wait. Wait and see whether this works, for it will change everything if it doesn't. Did you bring it?
We did indeed.
We did.
Okay, you're going to take out the vial. Okay, hand it to him. Right. Okay. Mr. Moo takes the stopper out of the vial and he recoils as a pungent aroma attacks his nostrils. And then he just shakes a few flakes. It looks literally just like ash, really. And then he I don't know, he just kind of tosses it onto the scroll in the area where the blank part, and then he blows it. Unfortunately, he looks up at you as there's kind of nothing seems to happen. The powder just sits on the surface of the scroll.
Give it a minute.
Okay, you don't have to give it more than a couple of seconds. When suddenly you all of you look kind of like a head in hands moment, and suddenly you go, look, and the powder's disappeared, and in its place you see lots of the same types of ancient Chinese characters are suddenly being revealed in the gap on the scroll. You did it, he says, jumps up and starts running around the room shouting, yeah, Jack, we did it. There's much work to be done. He gives you the powder back. He gives you the powder back, Sir Edward. He shakes your hand so hard that you actually feel like it almost breaks your fingers.
I'll smile, put it in my pocket. Well, a victory for today. Now let's get to work. I'll take a seat, take off my jacket, and roll up my sleeves.
We must decipher the final part here, and then all who wish to learn the spell must be here. It will take some time. Okay, so who wants to learn
Everyone.
the Eye of Light and Darkness spell? Everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone. Right,
Even Bert.
okay. Even Bert. Wow. Bert's come a long way. I mean, Who'd have thought if you told him he'd be learning spells at the beginning of all this that he would have...
Right, good. Got a little job for you.
Take some clothes up, and by the way, learn some ancient incantations whilst you're up there.
Yeah.
This job might last a little bit longer than you expected.
Right, okay. Mr. Moo and Sir Edward managed to decipher the remainder of the incantation within the next hour, and then the rest of you all set to work. It's going to take you it's going to take you pretty much a whole day to be able to try and learn this. So Mr. Moo sends Brady out and basically tells Brady that you're not to be disturbed. The light, make sure that the light is low, and it's only a candle that lights the room. As you start going through, as he begins to explain the ritual to you with reference to the scroll as well. So, okay, who wants to be the first person to see whether they can learn it or not? Who's the guinea pig?
Sorry, good, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, Sir Edward.
Oh, please don't fail.
Realistically, I'm the last choice sometimes.
Okay. Right. Okay. You need to make a hard intelligence roll to learn it. Anybody that has Cthulhu mythos of more than 10% gets a bonus die. So, Sir Edward, you can go first.
Okay. Would you like to know what I need to get?
What did you roll? 81?
I haven't rolled anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to know what my target is?
Yeah, go on. What do you need for a hard?
I need 30.
Oh dear.
Terrible. Sorry, Dave. 30, okay.
Okay, here goes. First roll, 87.
Okay.
Bonus roll,
Bonus die.
bonus die.
Yay!
10's a 0, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
7. So that's extreme success.
Okay. Let's just check that.
That was close.
Mm.
So if I got an extreme success,
Okay, because
does that mean I'm now skilled in the spell? Could I help the others learn it?
no, it doesn't mean that. But it's a nice
Stop
try.
making up rules.
Oh, well, you know.
Oh
No,
my
we
gosh.
should have lent into that. We might have been able to persuade Darren.
What it does
Every
mean,
little
though,
helps.
what it does mean is you don't take the associated sanity loss for learning the spell in the first place. So there was a bonus for it.
Ah, cool.
Okay. So you're obviously all doing this simultaneously. So I don't know who wants to go next.
I'll go next. And my bonus? No, I don't learn. I can't understand this rubbish.
Okay. You are able to push the roll if you want to, which means you have to spend more time. So basically, you have to stay behind, try and learn it. But there is an associated cost.
No.
Okay. You don't want to stay in detention.
No, I don't.
Okay. Fine. Right.
Go on, Jacob.
No.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I don't get a bonus die either.
Okay. So no. Okay. But
So my mythos knowledge of 2 isn't helping me. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that. Yeah.
Oh, eggs and
82.
it's eggs and baskets.
82.
It is
Okay.
eggs and baskets, except, but is a very determined, some might say powerful gentleman, and he really, really wants to help. So he is going to try harder to learn it.
Oh,
No matter
okay. So he's going to stay behind, is he?
I'm going to step behind and try to learn it, yeah.
Okay, go on then. Give it another go.
No, that's not a hard success. That's just a normal success.
Okay, I'm afraid that the extra strain that you put on your mind and body results in a... Is that 3?
Yeah.
A 3 sanity loss.
But it's worth the effort, then.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
obviously,
I've got stab to burn.
Or wasn't, you know what I mean? Okay, it was
Yeah.
worth trying.
Mr. Moo's like... So, okay, at the end of... So that's basically taken you like 12 hours to try and learn that.
I'm going to have to try and push it, aren't I? We can't just have Sir Edward.
And Mr. Moo, would you reconsider?
Well, Mr. Moo's not coming with us.
No, he isn't.
Not common.
No, he's not. You're going to try and push it, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I get a bonus die with this, or just pushing the
Yeah,
roll
it's,
one?
it's just it's normal as you would have.
Oh,
Before. It's the
okay.
same roll.
Oh, flippity flip.
Oh,
Ah,
Hmm.
Okay, that's not I'm afraid
That's not what I wanted.
no. And you also get a
Ha!
4. Is that 4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
4 sanity loss. My God.
Wow. It's pretty tough.
Brilliant.
Okay, so
It takes more time.
yeah, I presume that Jacob, you're not pushing it. Literally.
No. Nope.
Okay.
That's rubbish rolling.
Yep. So, Edward, you by the end of the day, you have you've learnt the spell, the incantation. You can understand it. You can almost like it's imprinted on your mind. And the other two try for another kind of 6 hours, so into the early hours of the next morning, trying to understand it, but they just can't get it, and you end up just feeling, wow, what you feel defeated by it, and it's just horrible. You get this horrible kind of almost paranoia feeling once that this thing is trying to defeat you.
Is there any circumstance where we can attempt to learn it again?
No, not at the moment. Not until your mythos knowledge increases.
Okay. The only way to do that is to read some of our books.
Or if you tried to take longer and use the books as reference, stuff like that. But it's not, you haven't got enough time. So in the time scale.
No, not for this. I'm thinking for the other 2 locations.
Yeah. You can definitely try again for those because you've got a lot more time. But this is in this period of time.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just thinking for the future.
Yeah. No, so it's just as it stands now. You're going to have to keep Sir Edward protected. Because he's the only one that can do it.
I'll stay in Shanghai. Send me a telegram when the island is secure.
When we've cleared the island.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody wants to do before the actual day of the assault, as it were?
Yeah, I want to go somewhere and get my 4 sanity back.
I don't think that. You haven't got enough time to do that, sadly.
So I didn't manage that with a month off. Right. No, I don't think so. No. I just need to. I'm going to want to go and strip down and clean my firearms. I'm going to go and get me some explosives. And such like. Okay.
Brady introduces you to the 2 members of your team. I presume you still want members in your team.
Yes. Oh
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you have Li Xiuming, who is a scout, and Chen Wei Lun, who Brady describes as an enforcer.
So that was Li Xiumin, who's a scout, and the other one was who?
Chen Wei Lun. So Li Xiumin is nicknamed Li Lantern Xiumin, carries a small brass lantern charm on a cord around his neck. He is a wiry, short Chinese man who looks exactly what you expect a scout to look like, small and agile. Whereas Chen Wei Lun is the opposite. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and muscle-bound. So you've got somebody who can protect you and somebody who's good at spotting stuff.
Excellent.
In your team. As far as the rifles go that you asked for, he has managed to sort those out for you. I'm just going to look at the weapons.
Lee Enfields?
I think that's probably right, isn't it? I'm just having a look at it now. Yep. Lee Enfields. Scoped Lee Enfield rifle. Yep. Look at the stats yourself for those, can't you?
Yeah, I got that. So 2d6 plus 4, 110 yards, magazine of 10.
That's it. You can have 2 magazines for those. Okay. Cool. Okay, Brady. The next day, which is now Friday, Brady, you meet again with Brady at the warehouse. He basically tells you to meet at the docks here at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, and not to contact them before that.
Right.
The fishing vessel is called the New Dawn. We look for a battered old fishing vessel called the New Dawn. 6 a.m. So he sends you back off to resume your life of luxury in the Palace Hotel for a couple of days. Anything else that you want to do before that Sunday morning comes around?
Only sort out my old army fatigues, because I'm going to go hopefully fairly camouflaged.
Okay.
Well, Well, not really camouflage. It's not camouflage as such, but it's khaki.
So has everybody got like a separate list of what they're actually taking with them on the trip? So can you compile one of those for me? I don't need you to do it now, but if you can compile one, just let me know at some point.
Yeah, I have one.
If that's all right.
Okay.
Because obviously you're not going to have everything, but it might work. It's going to be pretty important that we know what people have got and what they haven't got.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Right, Sunday morning soon comes round. You're awake early, very early. It's only just becoming light at this time of day. So you dress and head out of the Palace Hotel. I presume you've got like rucksacks or something that you're taking all your stuff in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Proper military gear.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have any travelling clothes like this, so I'll have to procure some.
You've had plenty of time to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way across the Wangpu. You meet Brady and the rest of his outfit in the designated place. Board the vessel, and it heads out quietly from the commercial dock across the on the 10-hour journey to Grey Dragon Island. Have you all been on small shipping vessels before? I know you military guys would have.
Yes.
Yeah, but only across the across the English Channel. Spent my whole time in France.
Yeah. Can I get you to make a con roll, please?
Threadwood's probably got a yacht.
Hard success.
Okay, easy.
Sure.
How do I know?
John-
Anybody that wouldn't. I don't think you would have been on a small.
No, I wouldn't.
Especially either. No.
Oh, that's a hard success too. No.
Okay. Iron stomachs, both of you then. Excellent. Okay. The journey continues, and you spend the majority of the time you spend below decks. Just, I guess, doing whatever you want to do to pass the time, whether that's chatting or staring at the wall or whatever, anything else that you wanted to do. Until, excuse me, the afternoon is wearing on when you hear the engines cut and the vessel that you're in, which, considering what it looks like from the outside, moves at an amazing speed, has now reached the destination, and you feel that it begins to drift. It seems that you've got to where you want to be, and now it's a case of waiting for dusk to arrive, and the rest of the cultists obviously arrive at the island. From your drifting fishing boat, Grey Dragon Island is little more than a dark ring on the horizon, an almost perfect circle of broken reef, low and jagged. The last light of day catches on the wet stone, turning the reef's rim into a thin, rust-coloured halo. Beyond it, the lagoon is a still glassy void, at the centre of which rises the secondary cone. Low, broad-shouldered and sullen, it dominates the lagoon, a foreboding lump of volcanic ash and cinder. The men of firm action sit in a loose semicircle, rifles and submachine guns across their knees, speaking in low, clipped murmurs. Chu Min stands near the bow, arms folded, gaze fixed on the island with the stillness of a man who has already accepted the cost of what comes next. Jack Brady leans against the gunwale, broad shoulders hunched, jaw taut, cigarette ember glowing faintly in the dusk. His binoculars never leave the reef. Okay, did you want to go and have a look?
Most definitely.
Okay, Brady passes you the binoculars.
It's all right. I brought my own.
Oh, okay. Told you then. You
I wanted better.
You put your binoculars to your eyes. The light is fading. Probably about an hour before, three-quarters of an hour before full dark now. Through the binoculars, suddenly you see a large yacht. The luxuriant goddess appears. She's a dark mass against the darkening sea, her outline softened by distance and the failing light. Her movement is steady and purposeful. You can't make out figures on the deck, only the occasional pale blur of motion. The engine sound doesn't carry this far, but she seems to glide in silence. A dim cluster of lights, lanterns or electric lamps, flickers along her rail. but they're muted, swallowed quickly by the dusk. It's enough to mark her as a modern, well-kept craft, but little more. Some distance behind her follows a second vessel, a long, low silhouette of an older, square-lined vessel that seems to drift like an even darker shadow over the murky water. Occasionally a single point of light flashes from her bridge, brief, controlled, almost certainly signalling, though the details are impossible to make out. Her deck is too dim to reveal anyone aboard. You recognise the second vessel as being the Dark Mistress. Both of them making good progress towards the island.
We've got all our lights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so you watch the progress of the ships as they dock. You can make out individuals with your binoculars. Okay, lucky because you were there first. You were looking through your binoculars to report back. You can see off the Luxuriant Goddess, which is the large yacht. You see about 20 people disembark.
20.
20, roughly around 20 people. Yeah. One of them you recognise instantly as being Ho Fang, with 2 bodyguards, and then the rest of them are both male and female of all walks of life, just look like normal people arriving at a party. They're not dressed any differently. Some of them, you can't really see a detail, but they seem to walk casually, and some of them hang about in groups and are chatting. The second vessel, you just see the crew with their strange shambling gait disembark, and also the captain. You can't see the detail of his disfigurement from here with your binoculars, but you can tell him by just the kind of shadow, the outline of the way he holds himself. So you think altogether there's probably about 30 people that have arrived in these 2 vessels, and presently they make their way off the ships onto the docking area, and then across the beach, and you can see them heading up the path towards what you presume is the village, but which you can't see beyond the tree, so you can't actually see the village from here.
Mm-hmm.
But you watch them, and they all disappear into the undergrowth, leaving the dock seemingly empty. Braid is looking at the same time, and he puts his binoculars down and says, "Well, I think the trap's set. It feels like we have everybody."
Yeah. The question is, who's trapping who? It occurs to me, if there's if you see any strange mechanical parts, I would avoid them. If the captain is disfigured from what we think it is, then they could be dangerous to us.
What's that?
One of the people on the ship had a disfigurement that we thought perhaps would be related to radiation. If you're aware of what that is, it's quite obscure. It's a sickness. You can't, something that would poison your body, but you can't see, smell, taste, touch it. It radiates from certain types of material. We think that maybe that might be something that they're dealing with here. Not magical science, but dangerous science.
Yeah, I think I've heard reference to something. Is it like explosives?
I think I don't know enough about it. It's just very limited information.
Basically,
just avoid it. Stay away from it.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Right, let's get the boats. He calls for the rest of the crew to get the boats, and presently you've got 3 rowboats that are lowered into the water for you to make your journeys. Okay, so you're gonna get down to the boat. Yep.
Yeah.
You got 6 of you in your boat. The 2 in your boat, the 2 guys from Firm Action are going to do the rowing.
Good. Have we got life jackets? I hope so.
Yeah.
Good.
You got life jackets. Okay, and just for clarity, you're heading towards the wharf, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, you head off from the fishing vessel, and you see the other 2 groups following in your wake for some time, and then they split off on their own separate courses. Is anybody going to be watching the island as you approach?
Yes, I want to see any lights. If there's lights on the dock, obviously we want to avoid anybody that's standing guard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If the two firm action people are around, they'll have their backs to the rest of us can face.
Is there anywhere we can disembark that's not the dock?
Yeah, well, the dock's on like you can see it's on like a beach area, so you could disembark a little bit further up the beach and round a bit, so that you could still get off the boat off your boat easily enough without being directly on the dock.
Mm.
So you
I think that might be safer because they might have left one or two crew members on the boats.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to head for the end of the beach, which is a couple hundred yards away from the actual dock itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess with the sun setting in the west, that's on the other side of the island to us.
Yeah.
The volcano should provide quite a bit of shadow.
Mm.
And the path we need to follow goes up through the village, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Don't like that.
When the passengers wandered up towards the village from the dock, were they just dressed in normal clothes, or had they put robes on?
They were dressed in normal clothes when they disappeared under the canopy towards the village. Definitely. Okay.
So I thought that's what you said, with them being of all types of people.
You make your way towards the beach, and you don't see anybody or anything, and you don't seem to be spotted by anybody or anything. Your rowboat noses into the cinder black shore with a soft, gritty scrape, and silently you step out onto the cooled crust of Grey Dragon Island. The air tastes of minerals and faint sulphur, a dry sting at the back of your throat from the numerous steam vents that exhale across the island in slow, uneven rhythms, each plume looking like a column of fire in the dying sunlight. It immediately becomes evident where the island got its name. The beach is a wasteland of cinders and coarse volcanic sand, broken only by the occasional scuttle of sand crabs fleeing your approach. Their tiny tracks vanish almost instantly as the loose grains shift and settle. A few stunted palm trees lean at odd angles farther up the shore, their silhouettes twisted and skeletal, as if the island's heat has warped them over the decades. Then your gaze lifts. The cinder cone dominates everything, 500 feet of jagged ash-streaked stone, rising like the spine of some colossal creature buried beneath the island. Its upper rim catches the last sliver of sunlight, a dull rust-red halo that makes the whole mass look ancient and almost alien.
The forces are aligned. The spell has been learnt. Now we hurtle towards the exciting conclusion of Season 5 of Steady Rolling Man Presents The Masks to Nyarlathotep.